painting the school right there. That Noah right there on the wall. That's
This
one.
one?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's one nature that.
O Jude Buddha Shakyamuni, the supremely awakened one, the most honored one, and the self-enlightened one. Here we are gathered in thy presence with the deepest reverence and adoration in our heart. We put the whole trust in thee and in thy universal wisdom and in thy everlasting compassion. And we do honestly resolve to be good Buddhists and follow the holy path you have shown us. so that we may, like thyself, attain the supreme and equal enlightenment. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhai. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. The teaching unsurpassed, most profound, most excellent, is seldom to be heard in myriad of aeons. Now we have received the sutra expounding the excellent teaching. May we understand the first principle taught by Tathagata. The great vehicle, the supreme vehicle, is beyond the reach of our comprehensions. But anyone who sees hear the sutra shall come nearer to enlightenment. The expounder is the Buddha in his eternity. The expounded is the Buddha in his truth. And the letters that compose the sutra are all in all the Buddha in his manifestation. All the excellent merit incalculable. Are concentrated in this wonderful sutra. By this, it saves all beings, employing all mysteries and wonders. All beings, wise or unwise, shall expel their sin, acquire their good. All beings, believing or even slandering the teaching, shall attain their Buddhahood through this sutra. This sutra is the most wonderful, most excellent, taught by Buddhas of the past, present, and future. May we meet receive this sutra birth after birth, word after word. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo. Nyorai Ju Ryohon Tai Ju Logu Ji Nga Toku Butsu Rai Sho Cho Sho Ko Ship Ryo Yagu Se The Buddha have appeared in this world to purify all beings by having them open the treasury of the Buddha wisdom, which they are unaware of possession within themselves. The Buddha have appeared in this world to show the Buddha's wisdom to them. The Buddha have appeared in this world to have them understand what the Buddha's wisdom is. The Buddha have appeared in this world to lead them into the path of the Buddha wisdom. The triple world is unsafe, like a burning house. It is full of sufferings, of dreadful suffering indeed. There are four major sufferings: birth, old age, disease, and death. The fire of Jesus' suffering is incessantly burning. The Tathagata has already retired from the burning house, this world, and is living tranquilly in the peaceful field of enlightenment. The world of the triple world is my domain all. All beings living therein are my own loving sons. Yet this place is filled with many great sufferings. There is none but I who can save all beings. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I like to talk about Buddha's last sutra, essential sutra, that is Lotus Sutra. If you have some question, will you ask me any time? Will you please? I have more here. Okay, please, will you, someone, read the first page, please? Please. Upper part.
The wonderful nature, suchness of all things.
Yeah.
Essentially speaking, the Buddha has altogether fulfilled the infinite, boundless, and unprecedented law. Enough, Sariputra, there is no need to say more. Wherefore, because the law which the Buddha perfected is the chief unprecedented law and difficult to understand, only a Buddha, together with a Buddha, can fathom the reality of all existence. That is to say, all existence has such a form, such a nature, such an embodiment, such a power, such a function, such a primary cause, such a secondary cause, and such an effect, such a recompense, and such a complete fundamental whole. Chapter 2, the Lotus Sutra.
Thank you. This is a very important part in the Lotus Sutra because Lotus Sutra is a quite a different sutra from all other sutras of Buddhism. Because it is the teaching of Buddha himself. Who was he? What was he? If we or I myself understand what myself is or what am I, I can understand everything, everything in the holy world. But most of people do not understand own true aspect, own true nature. That is why people have many stupidity, ignorance. So they cannot understand anything, beside you yourself. is the main purpose of our birth in this world is to understand the self, own self first. When you understand yourself, then you can understand your friend or anything else. That is very difficult thing. But we have to understand that is own responsibility. So the Buddha taught 40 more years, 42 or 3 years in his life about what is the things, what is the human life, you know? What is the true nature of everything. But it was so big problem, you know. It was very important, but human thinking is very superficial, shallow. Even they don't know what they are. Where they come from, they don't know. Where they will go in the future, they don't know. What are they? They don't know. You know, human beings are so stupid. You ask the flower knows what he is. Okay? Yeah, please listen to the word of flower. Flower is saying everything with no words. Word is very shallow. You know? Word is nothing, just like sound. If you know that a word has a sound, you know, we must understand the sound of stream, sound of wind, sound of bird, sound of all noises. But the people do not, you know, understand any meaning in the silence. You know? This chair is speaking something, but the people do not understand it. Okay, that this plant is also talking to everyone. And I am not a plant. Do you hear that? People calling me plant, but I am not. You know, because the everything is in, how to say, the world of suchness. I explained you about suchness since the beginning of February, almost 9 months. So now I am talking about the suchness world. So, next page, will you take a look? Okay? This is a 10 category of suchness. This is a kind of explanation of suchness, what suchness is. So that is in Hokkekyo. You know that in these pages, first pages, in the chapter 2 in Hokkekyo or Lotus Sutra, it says, Buddha said, only Buddha together with the Buddha can fathom the reality of all existence. That is to say, all existence has such a form, such a form. This such is, all, the nature, fundamental, underlying nature of everything. Such. I explained before, that, we have, everything has the three, the basic nature. One is a phenomenal reality. Phenomenal reality is, flower has a color. Excuse me, I borrow you. This is a Buddha, universal law and living. No, this is, reality. People understand it is a real existence. But that is not the underlining of the Buddha, this flower. It is not this flower. That is the human idea of this plant. No? It has a color, it has a beauty, it has a smell, it is a pretty form. It is a matter, it has a matter, it has a characteristics. All are human idea. No? It is not concerned, concerned to this flower. People do not know what this flower is because they don't know suchness. Okay? This flower is such. Not existence, not non-existence. People understand that this is, they see it with their eyes. Eyes cannot catch it. Okay? They smell with their nose. No smelling, but a nose or that sense of nose. Smell cannot catch it. So, that it must be some matter. Of course it is not matter. Okay? That is human idea, human judgment, human way of understanding. But this flower is quite beyond human understanding. People do not know that. Flower knows it. Do you understand the flower's mind? Of course, the people say, no, flower has no mind. That is their understanding, okay? But the flower has, just, how to say, representation of the human idea. Yes, sir.
So, would that apply also to like human beings that I project that they are real, that they are doing something,
Yeah.
that they are interrelating with me,
Yeah.
and it's my imagination?
Yeah. How do you think? No?
Well, sometimes it's very real. I mean, sometimes I know it's not real.
Yeah.
Then,
I think your idea, is that right?
my idea,
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
concept.
my concept,
Yeah. So a part of you.
of course.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Yes. Not real, not unreal. Everything is like that. Yes, sir.
What about nature Daishonin?
Nichiren Daishonin. That is the founder of Nichiren, school. Is that right?
Yes.
He died about 701 years ago.
No, he did not die.
Didanda?
He is still living.
Yeah. Whose idea is that? Your idea?
Yes.
Okay. So, Nichiren Shonin is your concept. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. So, it is part of you.
In all parts of Buddhism, there's never death.
Yeah, you know, that's when you know something, you know, that is your concept.
Well, he was, you know, he was chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Yeah,
And he was going to be beheaded, you know, by these samurai. And all of a sudden, this, you know, Kama came across and freaked him out, you know.
Yeah.
And so they split.
yeah. Okay. Do you know the meaning of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo?
No.
Yeah.
Well, what is that?
What is it?
Huh?
That means I am life, I am loving, and I will live forever.
He said so? Nichiren said so? Somewhere or sometime?
And I will pass the word on to all people.
Yeah, that is your idea, I think. Is that right?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, each person can understand, you know, everything. Like, you know, that Washington is first president of the United States. Okay, that is the human concept.
Yeah, but he was in a higher plane, you know.
Yeah. We have hundreds, maybe thousands of different point of view, understanding. You know, each person has a different understanding, is that right? Because experience is different, and the judgment is different. That's why understanding is different. You know, concept is different. When you see this flower, you know, that what color is it? You say, oh, it is red.
So he went against the government and chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Yeah, what is that? What is that? Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
That means a crystallization of
Of what?
the Gohonza for one thing.
What is Gohonzon? Yes, this is mandala, we say mandala, Maha Mandala, Dai Mandala, you know, we have many word names. What is mandala?
Enlightenment.
Huh? Loyalty?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Whose enlightenment is that?
All of us.
All of
The
us.
whole world.
Oh, the world enlightenment.
Yeah.
Is that the picture of the enlightenment?
Yeah.
That is not enlightenment. Is that the picture or idea or word?
He wanted the whole world to be enlightened so there would be no more, you know, beheadment.
No more behavior. So if you behave something,
There would be no more war.
oh, no more war. Yeah, war is not good.
There would be world peace.
Yeah, that is the peace. This world, the peace itself. You know, that is the meaning of, Bonzo. Yeah, very good. I agree. Yeah, very good. That is one, you know, I thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
bye-bye.
I just make my little offering for you.
Okay. Oh, apple. How about apple?
Have apple? Oh, Buddha, how can I?
It's an enlightened apple.
Okay, yeah, take a look. Hi, go. Okay. Everyone can get apple tonight. Okay, you can. Okay, that is your life. You know, that is the meaning of peaceful world. That is, you know, also it is the Gohonzon is fundamentally, you know, the sacred or how to say,
Sacred scroll.
yeah, scroll, yeah, that is another name, sacred scroll. You know? And also, it is, how to say, manifestation of suchness world. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tells everything.
And the other meaning is that is a picture of the Buddha world.
When you chant the Lotus Sutra,
Yeah,
and then chant Daimoku,
yeah,
you're putting into it, you know, to
yeah.
make
Who put in?
to make
Everybody?
to make it, yeah, to make it.
Everybody, we are, you are here. Okay? Other people is here. So, our name is here because it is sacred, you know, sacred scroll.
It was kept for many centuries, you know, behind closed doors.
Behind
And, yeah, and now it's in the United States.
uh-huh.
So you know, because the United States needs it.
Yeah, we don't need any country. All this world is sacred,
Right,
you know, world, enlightened world,
right.
nirvana world. You know, that is the meaning of, you know, Honzon, Gohonzon,
The home zone.
Gohonzon. Yeah, that is we call mandala also. Gohonzon and Daimandala are the same meaning. You know. And how about this? Is this Gohonzon?
Same thing.
Yeah. You are very good. How about I myself? You Gohonzon?
Yes.
Ah, very good. How about everybody in this room? They are Gohonzon?
They're being taught.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything in this room.
I may look ragged, you know, and everything, but all these people, you know, and me are very enlightened people,
Yeah.
especially you know.
Yeah. That is the Buddha's point of view. Enlightened Buddha, you know, is not only he himself is enlightened. He sees all beings in the whole universe is enlightened.
Just like glass.
Yeah, that's right. That is the meaning of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Gohonzon. That is,
Did you do the Lotus Sutra while I was gone before?
yeah, you know, that's, every morning I'm chanting that Lotus Sutra. Yeah, that is,
Are you gonna do some Daimoku tonight?
pardon me? Yeah, that is, you know, that's a part of Lotus Sutra.
Okay.
How about, you know, that's, you know, the bird singing Lotus Sutra. Is it right? Yeah, all the sound is chanting of the Lotus Sutra.
It just, you know, you wanna know what my perception is of the Lotus Sutra?
All parts are the same meaning.
It means,
So one meaning.
to me, okay,
Uh-huh.
to me, it means world peace for one thing.
Oh,
No more war. No more, you know, no more conflict between you.
that's right. So, how about,
And then the second part is enlightenment. And the third part is real enlightenment.
complete enlightenment? Huh?
Right.
How about, you know, somewhere in this world, you know, fighting one another.
Why should you?
Is that in a peaceful world?
You know, it's a waste of energy.
That is wasting
It's
energy.
an imbalance.
Yeah. That is, the human karma. And also, that is hell. Hungry
That's,
devil.
yeah, that's where, how it comes along. And we should all get along.
Yeah.
Instead of, fighting with each other all the time.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to fight like that,
Yeah.
The world has been,
Do you think the killing of people are the Buddha?
no.
No. Why not? Why not?
It just doesn't make any sense.
The being in the hell are not the Buddha.
You see, Americans are not raised to be.
Yeah, how about you?
Wait a minute. Americans are not raised
Not raised.
to think like Buddhists. Okay?
Yeah, still dualistic, huh?
See, I'm a Vietnam
Peace
vet.
and
I had to
war.
go to war.
War and peace are one thing, not two. Don't you think so? You like the peace better than war?
The bees?
Peace and war, which do you like better?
What?
Peace and the struggleness.
I would rather have peace.
That's dualism. It is not Namyo Horengekyo.
Nam-myo renge, nam-myo renge.
Yeah. In that, the little, in that world of Namyo
I've been
Horengekyo.
chanting for 10 years.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, so wonderful. But Namyo Horengekyo is not dualistic. It must be, oneness.
I'm just asking you some questions, that's all.
Okay,
Okay?
that's good.
I don't wanna, rule the
Yes, sir.
classroom.
Yes, sir.
What made things start to fall from their Buddha nature in the first place? Like if everything's Buddha nature except in a confused and distorted state now, you said that
Yeah,
everything is Buddha.
true aspect of everything are Buddha nature.
Right.
Yeah.
What made it go into the false aspect that it's in now?
Fourth aspect is, that the human discrimination.
Can I
So,
tell you about Nichiren Daishonin?
who? He is? Surely. He is a Buddha.
Daishonin was gonna be beheaded, okay? And then this karma came by.
Yeah, he is a Buddha. Present Buddha.
Then this karma came by, okay? I mean, the samurai swords were right there on his head, right? They were gonna behead him, I mean, for sure. And then this comet streaked by, and they freaked out. And he was chanting, he was going, Nam-myo renge-kyo, Nam-myo renge-kyo. Seriously, I am not talking crap, man. He's going, Nam-myo renge-kyo, Nam-myo renge, and he was devout to his heart, from his head, from his head to his heart to his head. And that's what saved him. And all of a sudden this comet came by, and the people that were gonna behead him split, man. They got all freaked out. Ain't that right, sir?
Yes, we must understand the Namyo Horengekyo correctly. Some people misunderstand it. They are human, understood by the human dualistic idea, point of view. So,
Well, isn't that what would happen?
is
Isn't
that
what
who?
happened?
Pardon me, who?
Isn't that what happened with Nichiren Daishonin?
Nichiren Daishonin, was the Buddha, messenger of the Buddha. So he understood correctly, I suppose. So, he understood everything, everybody are the same nature, peaceful nature, enlightened nature, suchness or nature. So even someone, tried to cut his head off
Yeah.
once, but he never thought that the person was the enemy. Yeah. As you say. Okay, so please, let's understand a little more, okay? This is, okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, do you have an apple? Okay, good. Don't forget it. No,
We're gonna
this,
chant Damoku before you go.
pardon me?
We're gonna chant Damoku before you go.
I couldn't hear you.
Are we going to chant Daimoku before you go?
I don't know. Can we?
I'd like to,
So,
even if it's just you and I.
okay.
Okay.
If there are, anyway, I'd like to explain a little more about this. Okay? This is an aspect or a form, it's reflected. Everything is reflecting in our eyes. That is a form or aspect or appearance. The all visible nature. We call it aspect or form. But this form is a Buddha. I explained to you long time ago. Every Buddha has three types of a body. One is phenomenal body, the visible body. That is, temporary existence. Everything is changing so fast, so rapidly. So there is no form. I explained last time, this flower does not exist because it is changing so fast. Even, one very short moment, it doesn't stay still. Changing so fast. So there is no form, there is no characteristics, there is no matter. But the people, they see eyes, and they have a memory, very bad. Memory is very tricky. Deceived by human beings, okay? So memory doesn't stay, just like the film, picture film of the movie, okay? So movie film, each frame all pictures stay still. That is memory. So, but actual flower is changing, no staying, even very short moment. It is changing all the time. But man has a memory. Oh, I saw it. It now I'm seeing. No? So it's the same flower. There is no same things in this whole universe. You are changing. No? Everybody is changing. So there is no, constant, or permanent existence. Yes.
What about the image? Does that stay? Like the image that we see, the picture online?
That is a
Is
big
that just
problem.
fake?
Yeah, we have many theories. Even memory. Memories are staying or are changing.
Well, does it really exist? If we're just
No. Memory is only mental images. No? That's why it is not actual beings. Image of this flower is not a flower. Yeah. That's why no one knows what the flower is. No? No one knows what the table is. No one knows what the self is. No? Human mind is so imperfect. How to say, not imperfect, it's very, very tricky or deceivable. Very false things. Just like, how to say, Maya in Sanskrit, it is like phantom, mirage. It is like a shadow, moon in the water, reflected in the water. It is not a moon, but most of people, think, oh, moon is there. But the moon is not there, not here. Where is the moon? Here. But the human mind is so, stupid. That is real moon. Where? There, where? People looking at the finger. There, oh, here. People, intending or pay attention to the words or to the concept. And they think concept is real, word is real.
That's what eyes are for, right?
Pardon me?
That's what eyes are for.
Eyes are for.
That's what eyes are for.
Eyes are for.
Eyes are full.
I'm sorry. Eyes and
Eyes
And
are
ears.
the purpose of eyes. That's the
The ears.
purpose of eyes.
I see.
Not the mouth.
Yeah,
The mouth is to eat.
I see.
But your eyes,
The nose is to breathe.
Yeah,
The eyes is to see.
yeah. Not the error of the eyes, not the error of the mouth, not the error of mind. Misjudgment. Is that right? Misjudgment, not mishearing.
What are you trying to say? How can we wear glasses?
Oh, no, there is no glasses in the whole universe. Do you have any good glass for the ear?
No, but you can hear well.
Okay. Please, let me explain a little more about this, I made a bit, this one last night. So, this is the, the all forms or all, aspect is Buddha's Nirvana Kaya body. Kaya is body. Nirvana is, how to say, the phenomenal body.
Okay, which one is first?
That is, first is aspect, such aspect. everything has such aspect. This is, round, this, center is each individual.
Okay. Which
Okay.
one's second?
Each individual has 10, that's a category of suchness. The one category that is, aspect, appearances. So all appearances of this flower is the Buddha's nirvana kaya, phenomenal body. That kind, this point of view is the enlightened view, Buddha's point of view, but not a human point of view. When you understand the truth of suchness, you can possess this kind of point of view. Everything is the Buddha's, phenomenal body.
Manifestations.
Manifestation of the, of the Buddha. No? So next one, that is the characteristics. That the characteristics means is, the mental, activities. We see the characteristics of this flower, not with our eyes, not the ears, not the nose, not the tongue, not the body. No? We can imagine with our our mind. That's why that kind of body is called the Sambhogakaya. Sambhogakaya. That is compassion body of the Buddha. When you see your mother is always compassionate, for her children. So children always look at their mother, as a compassion body. So that is Sambhogakaya, second body of the Buddha. Next, substance. This flower has a substance. What is substance? That is mother. Most of people today, in this time, understand mother is that's a very fundamental reality of the world. That is not the truth, of course. But matter is a human idea. There is no matter without mind. And matter is a human concept. Matter does not exist alone by itself.
Is your mother still alive? Physically?
Pardon me?
Is your mother still alive physically? Is your mother still alive
Oh,
physically?
that my mother is a Buddha because in my opinion, in this teaching, so everything is eternal. But mother is momental. I'm momental. But this momental, beings, self is eternal. Because moment, there is no moment. There is no time. Time is long, time is eternal or momental. No, I cannot say anything.
She must have been a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Time?
I said she must have been a beautiful woman.
Time Thank you.
Son like you.
Yeah, yeah, I want to say so. I want to think so. But the real Buddha is beyond beauty and beautifulness or ugliness.
No, it's not that. It's just, the spirit.
Oh, spiritual, yeah, beautiful, pure. Yeah, we wish to think so. That is human, human desire. People have,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm quite free, I'm not disturbed by anyone. Okay, these three are the Buddha's body. Next, is a power. Power is, how to say, is a Buddha has a power. Power is ability. The all Buddhas has ability in the paper, back of the paper. It explains the 10 power of the Buddha. One is distinguishing right and wrong. You like it?
Right and wrong is completely conceptual.
Yeah, that's a conceptual, of course.
Dualistic.
Dualistic, but also right and wrong is illusion. Okay, and it is not same, not different. We cannot grasp it. We cannot obtain it.
So then how can we distinguish?
So both are such.
But how can we distinguish between the two?
No, that's ask Buddha. Buddha does, Yeah. Distinguish. Yeah. And the life and death is, that's one but two. Two but one. How to distinguish? Buddha can do. But when you have a very, very pure mind, you can distinguish it. Because both are such. They are not different, not the same. You are quite free. That is a distinguishment. Distinguishment.
So you're using the word differently.
Yeah, that's not different, not the same. We are, we can see both equally, not inclined. That is a distinguish.
So,
This distinguishment is non-distinguished. Equality is a difference. Difference is always equality. No? So human wish to discriminate one thing into two. East and west must be one. But the people understand east is not west, west is not east. No? This is a human judgment. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the fourth section in the square, which is says,
Oh, four.
yeah,
Yeah, judging.
the supernatural powers of Buddha.
Where?
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that one. I see. Thank you. Four. I see. Thank you. That's the power of the Buddha.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Supernatural, because they're, the Buddhists are able to, go crossways and backways and
Yeah.
forth and back and
Yeah. It is round view. We say
Yeah.
round.
the
Yeah.
whole spectrum.
Wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it not a power?
Yeah, it's a power.
limited power, yes.
Anyway, so it was,
Yeah, that is, one, power is like that, as you said. Okay, we have 10 power of the Buddha. Number 2 is knowing the relation of karma and its result. Karma is the human conduct and its result. That is not 1, not 2.
Karma is karma, right?
Karma is, all human conduct is called karma.
from past lives also.
Yes.
So doesn't that include the result? The karma includes the result.
At the same time, there is no time in karma.
Which one are you looking at?
No, karma, the time is not past and the future, this kind of, continuation. Time is always now. In the now, there is a future and the past, at the now.
Well, the Buddha is living, if he's living in the now, couldn't know karma and the results are right and wrong. He'd have to be not in the now sometime too,
Yeah. Do you think when Buddha is living?
Do I think what?
When?
When is he living?
Yeah. Now, past, or in the future?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Buddha is living
You should know that.
in eternity.
Sure.
So if you don't know Buddha, living in the future and the past and present, you do not know when he is living. You don't know when you are living. Is that
Just
right?
because this man has a ball
So that is
he looks
your
like
problem.
Buddha, doesn't mean
You must know. That is your problem.
I know.
So
he might get hit by a car tonight.
yeah, we are living eternally, all the time. From the past, beginningless time, a beginningless beginning to the endless ending. Our life is always unchanging.
Unchanging or
Unchanging. If we are changing, we must die.
We're changing, but we're unchanging.
Unchanging.
Same time.
Suchness is unchanging.
I thought that such as is spoken.
Yeah, conditioning, that is changing. Conditionally, it is changing. But the suchness is beyond time and space.
Huh.
So,
We're always changing, but we're not changing.
not changing, the same thing. The only people, that
There's a middle in between where we stop for a while and look at what we're doing.
that is human understanding. Ne? Yes, human is always, time is wrong, From the past to the future, we minute by minute, it's changing, continuously.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be a human being. Otherwise, you wouldn't be human.
Otherwise,
If you didn't stop, if you didn't stop between the two,
yeah,
you wouldn't be, you wouldn't be born,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Eternity is momental. Momentality is eternal always. We must know that. Now, people do not understand because human mind is dualistic. So, East and West are quite opposite to each other. That is human dualism. But everywhere, here is the West and East. This one, West and East, everywhere. There is no West, no East.
once you're born, you cannot, you can't change.
Yeah, there is no change. Change is only human idea. Therefore, equality, there is no equality. We must go beyond.
Unless you make it yourself.
Pardon me?
Unless you make it yourself. Unless you make equality yourself.
Everything is so.
Unless you make yourself.
Make you so or so. Make you.
Make yourself pure.
Oh, not pure. It is it. No?
Well, your soul's pure already, right?
Pure. If we like pure, we must impurity, impureness. Following purity.
It depends on the environment you're raised with, right? Because I have two brothers that, and one of them's in prison,
Oh,
and the other one's dead.
oh,
And it's because they, ran around, with the wrong crowd.
mm-hmm. Where is your dead brother?
And I tried to tell them, I tried to tell them same thing that you're telling these people.
Oh,
And they told me I was full of shit.
oh. Okay, number 3.
No,
Okay.
6.
Number 6. Okay,
No. Number 3.
number 3. Comprehending the variety, various kind of meditation. We have not only one meditation, one kind of meditation. I told you, about the meditation before. In Hinayana teaching, Buddha taught 3 kind of meditation. And in Mahayana, we have 4 different types of meditation. Samatha, Samapati, Dhyana, that is Zen, and Samadhi. 4 kind of meditation. Each meditation are, little different, not much different. Okay, all meditation is the conduct of Bodhisattva.
Is that Upaya?
Upaya, yes. Dualistic. And seeing into what the people understand. This is very important. Human mind are very free, flexible. So, understanding is not true, real. There is no real understanding anywhere. There is no correct, right, understanding anywhere. If you understanding something, that is a big illusion.
I think that's the most important one so far.
I think so. If you understand so, you have no attachment to anything. Okay? You
So-
cannot.
This is seeing into the illusion, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. So don't understand anything.
I think, did you go into judging, number 4?
Number 4, yeah. Judging the inferiority or superiority of the capacity of the people. This is very good. Also, doctor take a look, the patient. Good doctor always knows where how is the sick person's condition. And where how come this sickness occurred. And how do we cure that disharmony of the body? And how should we do prevent, from, future occurrence of the illness. So this is the good doctor. Good doctor always knows how to keep up our healthy condition. Yes, sir.
Isn't that discrimination though? When like when I asked you
Yeah.
how things fall from the true Buddha nature, you said that's just human discrimination that we see it that way.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to
Sickness,
prevent
sickness.
Right.
Sickness is a part of health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no sickness anywhere.
Right.
Part of health.
So if
But-
you try to prevent sickness, then you.
Oh, that is only human, how to say, how to say, devices,
Right.
We have no, student, no teacher anywhere. Yeah. But in the kindergarten or grammar schools, a teacher always, I'm your teacher. I'm teaching you. You are a student. You must learn. Study. That is good. But that in the college course, teacher said, I have nothing to teach you. You teach by yourself. No, you study by yourself.
So that's the same as like a doctor.
Yeah,
There's
same-
really no illness, but you
Yeah.
pretend like there's an illness
Yeah,
because the person thinks he's sick.
that's right.
So it's the discrimination's on the part of the person that thinks he's sick, not on the
Yeah.
okay.
But that professor of the college or university of this country, they are teaching knowledge only, not wisdom. Okay? Therefore, their idea are always dualistic. Yes, sir.
They're not teaching, they're really,
No,
they're
no.
really not teaching healing, they're
Most
just.
of the-
No, I'm sorry, I have nothing to teach you. You
they're
know
not doing
everything.
Shit. What
know?
can I say?
Everyone have a perfect wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge is, is no use anymore. Knowledge is a big illusion. So you must wipe it away. So, if you have,
I've been celibate for 3 years now,
is that right?
and it feels good.
That's very good. You are clever. Yeah. If you have no,
And it brings me more knowledge,
yeah,
it brings me more knowledge to my head.
yeah.
To my
Not only knowledge, emotion too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Emotional.
I'm able to, grasp,
Yeah. Anything.
more firmly.
Yeah. Human mind must be, in a very calm state. It is very calm. Not, so, how to say, stirred.
Stirred.
Stirred?
Stirred.
Stirred. I'm sorry. So, mind is a very quiet thing. No mindedness. That is the best. No concept. No emotion. No knowledge. That is the best state of mind, human mind. Okay, I'm sorry. Number 5. Seeing into what people understand. That is now I explain. Knowing their lineage. What is lineage? Yeah. Lineage. Oh, lineage. Not lineage. Lineage. Yeah. So lineage is lineage, like that. Is that right?
Lineage?
It's
That's
the
no
order.
word.
No.
It's like your
Ancestor, oh, that is ancestor. I see.
What is important about ancestors?
Oh, ancestor is a part of you. And also, descendant is a part of you. Is that
Everyone's a part of us.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right. Universe is a part of you. You know, time is a part of you.
So when you say knowing their lineage, it doesn't necessarily mean
Not necessary.
knowing grandfather, great grandfather,
Yeah.
grandmother, etc. Just but to know that all of us are
One, yeah. So it is, there is no son, no, without parent. No parent without children. No? So therefore they are, depend on each other. So which comes first? Father
Pearl.
or son or children? If children, exist, prior to the parent, that children must be no causes. They are not children. And that parent do not exist prior to the children. So which is first? Ancestor is the first before than descendant. Descendant comes first than ancestor.
May I say something, sir?
Yeah.
Before the child is, before a child between a man and woman is conceived,
Yeah.
it's their minds that come together, and what they feel is what the child is going to be.
I don't know. Do you know? Something come.
I got four myself.
Oh. Do you know that what is the children? I don't know.
Well, it depends on the person.
I don't know what is a parent. No. Parent has no nature, self-nature. Only relative name. Name is a relative.
Yeah, all they do is give them names and feed them and make sure they
Yeah. And
grow.
the body is a relative body. Not the independent body.
But
Yes.
the spirit is there.
Spirit.
The spirit.
Oh, what is spirit? I like
Spirit
to.
is there.
Huh?
The spirit.
What is spirit? Do you have a spirit?
Do I?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Why?
Show me.
You
Show me your
want
spirit.
me to leave my body? Huh?
Yeah, you don't have spirit. If you have a spirit, please show me your spirit.
I love you. How's that?
Yeah, spirit is only your concept.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, you're a holy man. Don't you go to the Catholic Church?
Don't go to Catholic Church. They are mad. Yes, sir.
I find that curious because, generally I'm not sure how I feel about that. Generally, when you talk to the spirit, you're talking about something invisible, so you can't say, show me.
Yeah.
That's like saying, show me the air.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I want to say, air is invisible, but that is a human concept. If we have no concept of air, we don't know air, which exists or not. So, everything is a concept. It is not actual beings. That is a very, basic,
Do you have any
Buddhist.
children?
That's not fair. He's talking about one thing here.
Yeah.
You,
Okay, gentlemen, will you, is it okay?
Apologize, sorry.
This is not
Is
fair.
it okay?
No, I think that.
Yeah, in my opinion, that Buddha's, that theory, that we have many hundred, the thousands of theories. All are theories, the kind of medicine. So it is not true. There is no truth in Buddhism. The truth is only the realistic mind, can suppose, truth. Truth is eternal, unchanging, fact. There is no such things in the whole universe.
That's true.
Yeah. Therefore, that in Buddhism, from the beginning to the end, even enlightenment, nirvana, wisdom, and that everything is a concept. That is only a medicine. So medicine is also the poison, very, very bad. The poisonous. Only namely or conditionally we call it a poison. We call it a medicine. These names are same meaning but conditionally different. So there is no poison anywhere. There is no medicine anywhere.
But to get back to the air, you say there is no air, that's an illusion, but what is this thing you're talking about that's an illusion?
Yeah.
Because you're talking
Okay,
about something,
okay.
you're referring to something. So
I-
there's something underlying that you're referring to.
Okay, I have to explain like this.
Yeah.
Air, we must understand air is a concept. We must understand, so at first. Otherwise, we cannot say air is illusion. Concept is not actual beings. Concept is our mind, mental images. What is the mental images? Where did it come from? What is, is the real images? Is there any real image? No. All images is images. What is that image? That is concept. What is that concept? Another concept. What is that concept? Another concept. So, there is everything is concept. There is no reality, no existence, no nothing.
But isn't it strange that when I say air, immediately everybody understands what I'm talking about? I mean,
Yeah.
at least feels.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm talking about something that's
Yes.
outside their dimension of
Yes.
experience. So there's some common element
Yeah. It is not the people.
that air refers to that we share the concept. Yeah, we share a concept, but
Yeah.
what we
People
share
say
that concept.
it is real.
Makes it real.
That reality is a concept. That reality is a concept. Non-reality, that is another concept. Affirmation is conceptual. And negation is another conceptual.
Try going to Vietnam, smell napalm building, and talk about the air, okay?
So, everything is concept, human concept. Air, water, and fire, space, time, all are concept.
And spirit?
Huh?
Spirit?
Yeah, spirit, body, and mind, decision, and feeling, pain, suffering, all are concepts.
How about love?
Love is a big concept.
I think that's the best of both.
Yeah, the peace, as you said before, that is a big concept. People like it, peace, but
Peace, love, and love?
Uh,
Making more children that will love each other?
yeah, that love is a very, very big concept.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the whole thing.
I'm a
It's
far-sighted.
it's kind of a weird question that
Yeah.
I can ask you. Are we the concepts of our parents?
Concept of what?
Of our parents?
About the parent?
Of our own parents? Are we the concepts of our parents?
Surely,
So
surely.
we're born with that concept, and then do we learn concept from being around people who were the concept of them?
Yeah, I have a concept of my parent. My parent died many years ago, but still I have a memory of my concept, my parent.
No, but are we the concept of them? Because we're born without concepts, but they already have concepts.
The parent has,
Parents have, but baby
Yeah.
doesn't.
the parent has the parent's concept, not my concept.
Yeah, but then are we the concept of them?
Our parents put their concepts on us and then in turn become our concepts.
No,
No, it is impossible.
impossible.
Each individual has their own, memory, concept, experiences, and judgment.
But
you know?
the parent wants, say a parent wants their child to do this and to wear this kind of clothes and go to this kind of school, and the child does that, and in fact becomes a living, this thing, product of the parent's conceptions.
No.
No?
It is impossible. Because, it's, okay, when I was a child, okay, parent, cooked me, some dinner. But when they were very busy, it times postponed, So I was so hungry, okay? Parents did not know my hungriness, because they know, but they, that were so busy, so they are, the parent and the children or son have a different understanding, but desires.
But sometimes the parents have a desire for the child,
Yeah,
and
that
then the
is.
child just sort of does it because who knows why. And so it just seems like the parents have this concept, I want my daughter to be a doctor,
Yeah.
And so the daughter does that. And
Sometimes
it-
doesn't.
right. But I'm saying, but in that way, but still no, the child is not the parent's concept.
No. Concept is, all experiences, and experiences is the cause,
In other words, what you're saying is that what the child perceives is what he perceives or her perceives.
child
That's
perceives
that's what they live by, right? Whether they're in a public school or if they're at home or with their friends or whatever.
Yeah, so child, the parents send their child or children to the public school or private school, with their, own decision, But, that the children go to school, but,
And they go to the cafeteria.
Yeah. yeah, they have, if they don't like,
They
old
either get
school,
bused there or they get driven there by their parents,
yeah.
right?
So they complain to the parents. Children can complain to the children. I don't like that school. So I like to change the school. That is, own decision or judgment of the children.
But
You know,
What
Sorry.
she's saying is you're programmed by your parents, you know.
our program is a parents' program,
you know,
not the
whether
children's
you go to
program.
school or not, you're programmed by your parents.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, most of, you know,
It's really hard to escape from that when you know, when you're totally constantly under wraps, you know,
Yeah.
by you know, in adulthood, you know,
sure.
and it's really hard to get away from that.
Yes, and parent has a responsibility. When, you know, that the children attain to the 18 years. So, the children and the parent have a schedule.
Yeah, until you're 18 or 17 or 18,
Yeah,
then you're out of the house.
yeah,
I got drafted when I was 18 years old.
yeah, sure.
I went to Vietnam for 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. You know, that's not, you know,
I was
that is only a
Airborne Ranger.
law. You know, in each, you know, family has a different rules, you know, or customs. So, anyway, you know, knowledge belongs to individual. Emotion belongs to individual. So, you know, we cannot feel others' emotion and feeling. We cannot understand others' understanding.
But
Yeah, you
but
can
I'm
if you
sorry.
want to.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's like when a parent sort of teaches their children, and
Mhm.
at some point in their life, the child can then change those attitudes or whatever. But like it's the parents that sort of mold the children into what the parents' concept of right or wrong or
Yeah,
so
that's
in
right.
that way they put their concepts on children.
yeah, that is,
And that's more of a
yeah.
value system you're talking about, the values,
But
what the
that's
concepts.
but that's conceptual,
Well,
isn't it?
Conceptual values.
Yeah.
I was just wondering,
Yeah,
you're
but
talking about concepts.
Ma'am, you, see, he wasn't raised that way, and you were. And
No,
so
but I was
it's, you know, it's just, it's hard for him to conceive closely.
Yes, ma'am.
Could I ask one more question? You were talking about concepts. You said concepts come from experience, more from
Uh,
experience.
yes, concept, you know, come from experience, you know, that when we judge something, you know, at that time we need a memory, you know. Memory is a past experiences. So we are using the past memory and compare the things, okay, or the concept, you know, in our, you know, the memory. Then we judge which is right, which is wrong, which is good, which is better, you know, like that. That is a human judgment. Then we attain to a decision, you know, decision. Then, you know, we decide, oh, this is good. I, you know, decided this one. That is, you know, individual decision. You know, there is only mind belongs to one person. You know, there is no common, you know, decision, judgment. You know, parent and the kids, you know, sometimes are the same, you know, identical decision. Both attain to, you know, same decision. But most of times they are different. You know? Yes, sir.
Are we gonna chant a little bit before
Okay, okay,
Logo?
okay, please, you know, but,
Please? I really appreciate it.
oh, thank you. I think next time is okay.
How about just 5 minutes?
It's okay, everybody, you know, you know, I think it's, you know, the next time we chant, you know, at the first.
We can't chant now?
How
Not
about,
tonight?
yeah, how about everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so then 10 times, okay?
Yes.
Okay, please make a gasho that is a mudra, diamond mudra. It is the very strongest, strongest mudra. No one can disturb you. No? So this is like a diamond. Chanting is a mantra. Mantra is very powerful.
About 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Okay, that's,
Ten times.
okay, 10 times is enough. I
5 minutes.
think. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Minutes don't exist,
Okay.
turns out.
And mind, we must, always seeing the perfect world, oneness world, suchness world in our mind. The mind is not, that quiet, not concentrated. Chanting the mantra does not, work. No? So mind is concentrated by the one, perfect, enlightened world. Always we are in that world. Then, mudra, that is the physical, translate and concentration. And the mantra is verbal, verbal concentration. Of course, it is meaningful. Okay,